The first bond market platform and marketplace for bonds in Europe.
If we only wait for ISO or SOC 2, we always wait for 12 months. And again, they're not talking about how you do things today. They always talk about how you do things 12 months back. When you do business, you follow the opportunity. If the opportunity says that you have to go pivot to tech company, you follow that one.
It takes a little bit longer to establish business relationships on the German market. You have to be a bit more patient. There's a need to choose. You cannot be everywhere at the same time. So you need to make a choice. Where do you attend, where do you go to, and why do you go there? But this landscape is changing very quickly, especially after the Corona times.
La complejidad es que somos el único producto español y europeo, que protegeremos la soberanía digital en Europa. Nuestros competidores son americanos e israelitas y la realidad es que también en Europa, también en España tenemos productos y tenemos gente muy buena.
They don't have the information, they don't have the network, and that's where we start to help them with our network. Not only the Enterprise Europe network, also the network of Berlin Partner, the local networks.
We are vertically integrated, everything from the hardware, the cloud services, the phones, the servers. We build it. It's a one-stop shop for the customer in terms of buying as well as getting support.
Fast revenue, work fast, doing fast, and talking fast, learn fast is so very important.
Multi-asteroid mission is going to be a mission to visit 7 different asteroids. And our impactor is going into the last part, which is the last asteroid that they want to explore is Justitia. That asteroid came out of the solar system. So we want to know and learn more about how the universe actually began and where all these different types of materials comes from. We're currently failing in our designs, but this is part of the process. And you have to just refine it until it becomes successful.
We go up to 15 million, and now with the new step approach, we can go up to 30 million to help scale the startup and SMEs in Europe, but also in associated countries. At the moment we had 10 billion, and hopefully 30 billion in the coming years to find, develop, scale, help innovators in Europe.
Today's quantum computers are relying on complex room temperature electronics that travel all the way from the room temperature to the heart of the quantum computer to control the qubits. But with our technology, we can replace the need of the complex room temperature electronics, cut infrastructure cost and power consumption dramatically, and have the control and readout close to the qubits in the extreme low temperature. Working with marketing in deep tech is super fascinating and interesting, and you learn something new every day because you work with such a talented teams.
From my perspective, Europe cannot one. It's not just another industry. It's not just automotive. It's not just solar panels. This is whoever wins quantum wins everything. Not just to mention the shore algorithm and the risk to our cybersecurity. Talking about better materials, better drugs, optimizing things that are not optimizable. We cannot afford to lose quantum, right? We don't want to be at the mercy of anyone else asking them for permission to use the quantum computer.
The robotic technology became much more mature, much more reliable, much more intelligent with new sensors, with new electronics, with simply new CPUs, with the latest NVIDIA chips. We have a lot of more intelligence in the system.
Hello guys, here we are in Berlin approaching GITEX Europe AI, Berlin edition, to see how Europe is shaping AI in 2026. Europe's most global tech startup and digital investment event, they say. Let's see.
when we talk about Active Directory, we are in the group policy management company. All of this is external. We have more than also 12 and also 12 elections that we have. And we have more than 150. So we come up with something of this is the nice curve on the left-hand side. This is for
Hello guys, here we are in GITEX Berlin. This is the first interview. Here we are with Anatoly Shkareda from Bondfish. Anatoly, can you tell us a bit about what you do?
Yeah, we are co-founders of Bondfish with Stanislav Parizhayev. Excited to be here. We are the bond market platform, like the first bond market platform and marketplace for bonds in Europe. So actually we have more than 50,000 bonds available on the platform, serving both retail investors and professional ones, like wealth managers, family offices trading bonds. So kind of a platform that serves both B2C and B2B clients.
Well guys, this is the second interview of the day in GITEX Berlin, again at the Netherlands stand. Here we are with Ferry Haris from Third Comply. So Ferry, can you tell us a bit more about what you do?
Yeah, so basically Third Comply by the name is we build a platform, but also a service to help enterprises to do due diligence on their vendor from cybersecurity perspective. The reason why I said that is because enterprises, when they want to onboard, use a new services, they have a lot of due diligence. Financial due diligence, market news, whether it's end up in the news for, I don't know, some child labor, for example, in the past. But nowadays, more and more regulations also force them to do a due diligence from cybersecurity. Because like it or not, most of the incident that happened for the past, let's say, 5-6 years, is actually happened because of the vendor, not the main enterprise itself. So it means that because the pressure, not just from regulations, but they also want to make sure they work with trusted vendors, they put emphasis on this cybersecurity due diligence. So we build a platform to help them to process this due diligence, but not just once, not just before the contracting, but all year long. Because let's say a vendor can be secure today, but 2 months down the road, things have changed. Maybe they add a new server which is not secure, they publish a new product which is not secure. So by monitoring them all year long, we can give signal to the enterprise whether all their vendors are still following their requirements or not. So that's what we do.
How is this related to ISO certification, SOC compliance, etc.?
So for the enterprise perspective, the ISO, the SOC 2 is just an input and only one of the input. The reason why I say this is because most of the time, the large enterprises, they focus on regulations. Like in Europe, we talk about NIS2 for critical services, DORA for financial services. In all these regulations, they need to comply that when they onboard a vendor, they have to do due diligence from security perspective, but also all year long. So for the enterprise, they don't really care about the ISO so much, but they can use the ISO, the SOC 2 report, as an input of this due diligence. But it's a static documentation. It's a static report. It's always looking back 12 months, the audit. What we do differently is how can we add more information, more signals to a company to add to this ISO and SOC 2. So for example, we scan dark web, we scan all the news, we even scan the server of the vendors itself every day, which means any changes to the servers, any changes in the dark web, any changes to the news, they got to know. If we only wait for ISO or SOC 2, we always wait for 12 months. And again, they're not talking about how you do things today. They always talk about how you do things 12 months back. So that's what makes us different. So ISO and SOC 2 is just one of the input, but it's not the only input for us.
Enterprises then, I suppose, they might have like also other kinds of frameworks, right, to evaluate the security compliance.
Yeah, typically, if we talk about enterprises, unfortunately, I would say they have too many frameworks. Like I said, let's say a bank, and then it's a big bank in Madrid, Santander. Okay. Then one, they need to comply with DORA because that's a European legislation. They also need to comply with, let's say, national bank from Spain. Maybe they also need to comply with other regulations in other countries because Santander, operating in multiple countries. Because they have multiple frameworks, most of the time, I can say that they always have their own framework, which they map. So how can I have one framework that can satisfy UK, Spain, and Netherlands, for example? So they will have their own framework. Is it based on ISO? Maybe. It can be also based on NIST, for example, from the US, NIST CSF. So how do you say it? The funny part about cybersecurity and privacy is most of the time they all talk about the same thing. But every country believes they can do differently. Our country is unique, our industry is unique, so they always come up with their own regulations. But if you read carefully, they're all inspired. Let's just use the word inspired. Inspired from ISO, inspired from NIST, inspired from any other stuff.
I guess it's similar in the financial industry, right? I used to be a risk consultant, and some banks pick some regulation from others, some models.
Yeah, and then you similar. Just pick, and then when you read it, wait a second. They talk about the same thing, but not exactly the same thing because they changed the language a bit, right? So that's what happened with cybersecurity. So yes, eventually large companies will have their own control framework, but underneath they all talk about the same thing. So that's why for us, whether a company have their own control framework, great, then they don't need to start from scratch. If a company doesn't have their own control framework, we have a lot in our platform as a basis, whether it's ISO, whether it's NIST, whether it's NIST2, whether it's DORA, all the regulations that we have, the major regulation that we have in our platform. But if you have your own, we can also work with that, no problem.
And your platform uses AI agents, I presume, or any kind of technology? Okay.
Yes. So basically, what we do is we built several AI agents. One is to process documents. So let's say the vendor has the policy, the ISO, the SOC 2 report. That's one AI agent to basically process these documents, so to say. Another AI agent is, to go out to the dark web, to scan, to see the situation of this vendor. Another AI agent to do another scanning for other stuff. So basically, we have multiple AI agents, and then the outcomes will be triaged by another AI agent to say, you know what, based on all this, is this vendor trustworthy or not? If not, if you still want to work with them, because most of the time people said, I still want to work with them. What is the recommendations? That's another AI agent to give a recommendation. So basically, we have a lot
and
of
also based
AI
on the control framework that the company
yes.
Huh?
That's why it is very important for us in the beginning that we work together, because then the AI agent is trained to your own control framework.
Is your process tailored to the client?
Correct.
So there is a previous consultancy part where you have.
Correct, but it's part of the service, so to say. So it's not like separate. It's always part of our implementation. That when we implement, we need to make sure that we take their framework, we configure it in our tool. Then the AI knows which framework they need to work on.
What makes agentic framework enterprise graded?
So the way we do it is, one, it is verifiable. We use open source based LLM anyway, and then we have a RAG, which is hosted in our own server. So when you are working with us, you know for sure that it is not going to, like Anthropic or Gemini. It is in our own server. In fact, if you have, let's say, Ferry, I have my own LLM service. Can I use it? Yes, sure, no problem. Because the RAG is the context engine that we have is our IP. But the LLM underneath, you can use whatever.
What's the origin of the company?
So our headquarters is here in Netherlands. Oh, not here, but our headquarters in Netherlands. We also have a branch in Singapore for Asia Pacific market. But most of our activities come from Netherlands.
And how did it started?
Actually, it started in 2021 as a consulting firm. So what we did during this consulting phase is proven that people actually needed a new way to do things, but we still do it manually. So after a while, we said like, okay, you know what? Now it's time for us to automate this, and that's where the comply comes. But so we are doing this not because we see a gap in the market, but at least it comes from our own pain. Which is, as a consultant, we feel the pain. But even then, before, when I was still working as an employee in a company, I do this process also manually, so I feel the pain. So based on this pain, based on the thesis that we try with the different clients manually, then we figure out, okay, this is the secret sauce, let's automate it with AI and so on and so forth.
Which is one challenge that your company has right now?
I think the biggest challenge is how to convince the enterprise to work with smaller company, right? I mean, we have some enterprise clients, but most of them are not risk taker. When they see, oh, this company only 18 people, will they survive the next year or not? That's always thing in their mind, right? But if I talk to them, okay, you can test this, you can try it yourself, they all agree. Like no one says otherwise. They all agree that they need this solution. But when it comes to how big is your team, how's your financials, they're always looking for, okay, let's wait for you to grow bigger until, Microsoft size or AWS size. So sometimes, in my opinion, especially in Europe, in order to make the ecosystem thrive, there's also some risk-taking element that the corporate needs to give to smaller companies, right? We are not startups anymore, right? But we still only 18 people. We are not 1,000 people. We are still 18 people. Because of AI, we don't need to have 100 people at the moment, right? So the product works. We have the team who are capable to do it, but because of the size, then suddenly we are not trustworthy. But if I go to, for example, to the US, okay, let's try it. I think that's also comes down to culture, I would say. Most of the time, enterprise customers think about how can I use the solutions for 3 years from now, right? But risk, startups, technology, they change every 6 months, every month. So that's why, even for us to say, you know what, you can test 10 vendors first, 20 vendors first. I don't need you to test 1,000 vendors. There is still this hesitation, like, should I trust them with my 20 vendors? But which actually, if you test with 20 vendors, even if you go to procurement, yeah, the procurement will say the amount is too small, then just swipe your card, for example. But again, most of the time, they're more risk averse here in Europe compared to the US.
Okay. And any lesson regarding your journey for the viewers?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I started as a consulting firm. I thought that I would stay as a consulting firm. So I never have this idea to have my own tech companies also. But eventually what I learned is when you do business, you follow the opportunity. If the opportunity says that you have to go pivot to tech company, you follow that one. But of course, it has to be because of you have a calculated input, right? It's not just like, okay, I tried this once, and after that, it doesn't work, and then I try another one, it's also not work. So then you always start from scratch. That's lesson number one. But number two, and I don't know about your audience, it takes time. Okay. I always thought, okay, I can launch this product in, let's say, 6 months. It takes a year. I can get a new enterprise client in 1 month and 2 months. Enterprise sales cycle is 9 months, right? So it takes time. Because it takes time, one, you have to be patient as a founder, but also your team have to be patient. But at the same time, you have to be very disciplined with your money. How much you spend, which area. We are fully bootstrapped, so every single cent matters. Every single event that we discuss internally, like why we go to this event, not that event. So every single items we calculate very well because we have to be disciplined. And my recommendation, even if your audience are getting external funding, discipline in your finance is very important, whether it's your money or not your money.
Okay. And last question, and as for a connection to Connectora network.
Okay. Yeah, of course, I don't know exactly how your network works, but if there are corporates, it doesn't have to be like an enterprise, 30,000 people, no. Our lowest tier is companies with 500 people. And if they still do the vendor due diligence manually, talk to us. Let's start with 5. Don't start everything with a big bang. Start with 5, but let's do tests with a real vendor, because then you can see the value proposition. Even though if you don't continue with us, it's fine. At least out of these 5, you can give it back to your legal or give it back to your regulator or your auditor. You know what? We still do due diligence. For this 5, we do it differently. This is the outcomes. It's still a win for you. So, yeah, we would like to spread this because although I haven't been to Spain to test this thesis, I know for sure that most of corporates today, when they do cybersecurity due diligence on their vendor, they do it very manually. They will ask questionnaire, they will send a questionnaire, they will read the questions, they will read the documents from you manually, at most once a year. If you have 1,000 vendors, at most in a year long, you can only assess 100. Or if you have a big team, let's say 200. What about the other 800? So we need a better way to do vendor due diligence and monitoring our vendors. AI is here to stay, then why don't we just use it? So if in your network there are desk companies with 500 employees above, do vendor diligence manually, would be great to introduce to us, and then we can do some testing.
We'll try. Perfect.
Cool.
Thank you so much, Ferry.
Thank you.
Hello guys, this is the third interview in GITEX Germany, and here we are with Eva. And Eva, can you tell us a bit about you, who you are, and what are you doing here in this conference?
Okay, so I'm the Startup Liaison Officer. I work for the Netherlands Embassy here in Berlin, and I support Dutch startups and scale-ups on the German market. So I provide information, we organize events like this for them so they can present their solutions, and we support them with the network connections and different contacts.
What's the most important thing a startup has to take into account when expanding into the German market?
It has to be a product market fit. So just because your product was successful in the Netherlands doesn't mean it's going to be successful in Germany. So you really have to think hard about how the market functions, what kind of customers you have in Germany, and adjust accordingly. That's the number one rule.
How can your embassy help? And should they contact you directly, or are there any other ways to ask for help when seeking for internationalizing a company in Germany?
We have, in the Netherlands, we have a lot of different organizations that can support that. We have the Netherlands Enterprise Agency, for example. They're the ones that are co-organizing this event for us. So there are ways and means that the startups can connect. But my first recommendation would be to get in touch with your local startup hub and your local regional development agency. That should be like the first points of contact, because they already have a lot of experience and they've supported a lot of different startups. So you don't have to do things twice and don't keep reinventing the wheel. Just take into account everything that's been gone before already, learn from that, and then the hubs and the regional development agencies know how to find us as well.
Are there any particularities about the German market that Dutch startup might find as a shock once they come in?
I think it really depends on your sector maybe, but in generally I would say it takes a little bit longer to establish business relationships on the German market. You have to be a bit more patient. People really would like to understand your products. You don't have to go into the sales pitch straight away. Try to understand what your stakeholders' problem is, what are their challenges, and whether your solution is the right fit for them. Build a relationship first before you try to sell the product. That would be my recommendation, definitely.
Which kind of startups come seeking for help to the embassy?
It's very broad. It's not sector specific. We now have a lot of AI-based startups. Everything that has to do with data crunches in different sectors. Traditionally, we have a very strong influx of life sciences and health startups, and I think that's going to continue for a while. Yeah.
How did you decide to take the challenge on coming to Germany and help startups to internationalize here?
It was a nice challenge. It was something very different. It was the tech sector after the corona had a very difficult period. We had to build a lot of things from scratch. So in that sense, it was good, interesting. Yeah.
And does the embassy have any challenge right now in their mission?
But no, I wouldn't say a challenge in that sense, but it's the growth of the events, I think, is a challenge. There are many different tech events. Smaller, medium-sized, big ones, and the landscape is very dynamic and it's changing very quickly.
So would you say there is a need to connect all of these events, or?
Well, there's a need to choose. You cannot be everywhere at the same time, so you need to make a choice. Where do you attend, where do you go to, and why do you go there? So, but this landscape is changing very quickly, especially after the corona times.
Yeah. Any advice for startups that would like to come to Germany and sell their services or products here?
Do your homework.
Okay.
Definitely do your homework. Do your research, know what you're getting yourself into, explore the market, and make sure you do as much preparation as possible. Really do research on the market, know who your customers are, connect with them as soon as possible.
And any connection that maybe from the audience or our network the embassy would like to have?
In terms of
any kind of specific startup or a specific profile of person?
Well, we have all the startups here, but I think the Netherlands has a really good, very broad startup ecosystem. So I can't tell you a specific one. In general, I would just say get in touch with the Dutch.
Get in touch with the?
Get in touch with the Dutch.
Get in touch with the Dutch. Perfect. That's a good sentence to end the interview. Thank you, Eva, for the interview.
Thank you.
So here we are in GITEX again, the fourth interview. Here we are with Sylvia Vogel.
Yeah.
Hello, Sylvia. Can you tell us a bit about what you do?
Yeah, hello. I'm Sylvia. I'm from the matchmaking booth at GITEX. I'm working at the Berlin-based Economic Development Agency, and we are organizing this matchmaking at the fair because we want to get partners together. So companies, SMEs, startups from all over the world to find the right partner, to get international, to find the right funding schemes. So this is a big happening for us, and it's good to meet so many people from all over the world.
So you told me you are from the Berlin economic agency?
Yeah, it's called Berlin Partner.
Berlin Partner. But you are also from the Enterprise Europe Network, as you mentioned me before. Can you tell us a bit more about what is this network?
Yeah, the Enterprise Europe Network is funded by the European Commission. We are a European project which is there to help SMEs, startups to get international, to find the right funding, to find international partners, to get their international partnership they need to grow and to find new businesses.
How does this network work, and which kind of resources can offer the companies?
How does it work? It works locally. So we support our local network, so the Berlin-based companies, but we have many colleagues all over the world, especially in Europe, but also in other non-European countries like India or like Brazil. And everybody is supporting their local community of companies and connecting with each other. So if a Berlin-based SME asks me to, because they want to go to Brazil and they need to know about the local taxes, or they want to meet partners to sell their products in Brazil, then I can connect the company in Berlin with the partner in Brazil, and like this to get international partners.
What is a common challenge that the startups face when they decide to go international?
They just don't know where to start. They don't have the information, they don't have the network, and that's where we start to help them with our network. Not only the Enterprise Europe network, also the network of Berlin Partner, the local networks, which is also, for GITEX, it's probably the digital topics which are most relevant, but also other partners. We are divided in clusters, so there is a health department, there's a health cluster, a digital technology cluster, a cluster for transport. So we support them accordingly, the companies from our region. Yeah.
How did the project originated? The European Enterprise Network. How did raise?
You mean since when it exists?
Since when, and how was the proposal for the EU Commission to fund it?
We exist since almost 20 years now. Not next year, but in 2028 we will celebrate our 20th birthday. So it will be a big event for us. So it's not, it's not that we exist since only some years. No, it's a network growing a lot in the last years, and it feels like a little family, a little EN family.
How long have you been in the network working?
Now since 8 years. Yeah,
and
almost.
Have you experienced any change on the types of startups that come in these past 8 years?
Yes, it always depends on what the startup needs. You know, they and times are changing, right? So AI is changing a lot for the life of the startups, I think. But I mean, the questions remain the same. I would say it's always about finding the right partner, about funding. What is it where we can support them best? So yeah, so the topics don't change too much, but a bit the challenges, I would say.
Okay, well, that was. Thank you so much for the interview. I hope our viewers can check later on the network. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
That was it.
You can query the data in our Copilot, and you can create daily, weekly, or
Vale. Pues nada, chicos, aquí la sexta entrevista, creo ya. Estamos con Víctor Pascual, CEO de Cosmikal Spain. Víctor Pascual, CEO de Cosmikal Spain. Encantado, Víctor. ¿Puedes decirnos un poquito a qué te dedicas? Y a qué
Pues encantado, Julio. Bueno, pues soy el CEO de Cosmikal, como bien has dicho. Cosmikal es una empresa de ciberseguridad española. Lo que hacemos es un producto que realmente lo que hace es crear un desacople entre el usuario final, lo que es el usuario, y los servicios a los que se conecta. Entonces, realmente nosotros lo llamamos espacio de trabajo remoto y blindado, ¿vale? Tenemos dos productos, uno que trabaja, que es un software que se instala y lo que hace es desacoplar, y otro que es un Thin Client, que es una solución embebida, y lo que hacemos es poner ahí nuestro propio firmware que cada vez que enciende y cada vez que se apaga desaparece toda la información, no se queda nada registrado. De esta forma también protegemos todavía más lo que es el dato y la información que estamos trabajando con ello.
¿Qué clase de clientes utilizan vuestros productos?
Cualquier cliente. Realmente está muy pensado para defensa. Como ves, estamos dentro del catálogo de la NATO, de la OTAN. Por lo tanto, es un producto que está certificado. También estamos certificados, estamos en el proceso de la certificación en el EuroCC y de Common Criteria. Y también lo que tenemos es el certificado con el CNI, que es el CNC, que es el Centro Criptográfico de España. Y eso es lo que es el Leuze.
¿Cuál es la complejidad para realizar este tipo de productos?
Bueno, la complejidad es que somos el único producto español y europeo que protegeremos la soberanía digital en Europa, ¿vale? Siempre pensamos que los productos de fuera, que siempre tenemos que buscar los productos en el extranjero. Ahora mismo lo tenemos sobre todo focalizado, nuestros competidores son americanos e israelitas, y la realidad es que también en Europa, también en España tenemos productos y tenemos gente muy buena. Como puedes ver, diseñado y creado en España, en Europa, y certificado, que es lo más importante, lo que nos da la garantía y la seguridad de que el equipo cumple con todas las exigencias, tanto mínimas como máximas, que un producto como este tiene que tener, porque realmente somos el vector de ataque. O sea, desacoplamos de tal manera que cualquier problema que pudiera tener el usuario en el endpoint, lo típico que estás infectado con un virus, con un malware, no hay problema, nunca va a llegar al servidor, nunca va a llegar al servicio. Siempre se va a quedar totalmente en el equipo del cliente. Nosotros nos ponemos en medio, además es una solución que no es invasiva, que si en algún momento dado nos tienes que quitar, nos quitas y nos pones, es tan sencillo como eso. Y lo que conseguimos es un desacoplo tan grande que no nos importa lo que le esté pasando al endpoint. ¿Por qué? Porque lo que está recibiendo el usuario es simplemente un vídeo. y lo que nosotros recibimos son un input de texto. Pues realmente en ningún momento el usuario está interactuando o llegando a interactuar como sería en una conexión normal, punto a punto con el servidor. Entonces, los servidores, lo único que se conecta al servidor y la única instancia que está realmente trabajando con los servidores o con el servicio somos nosotros. Y lo desacoplamos totalmente. Hay una red que trabaja con el endpoint y otra red totalmente desacoplada que trabaja con el servicio.
¿Cuál es el origen de tu empresa? ¿Cómo surgió?
Bueno, el origen es una empresa que empezó hace más de 15 años. Era una consultora. Y a través de diferentes proyectos y demás vieron que realmente el mercado necesitaba un producto de estas características. Ahora como 2 años empezamos a comercializar el producto, empezamos las certificaciones, es un proceso largo en el que pues, no puedes comercializar algo desde el primer día que no cumpla, como te digo, ni los mínimos ni los máximos. Por aquí es ciberseguridad, estás exponiendo a tus clientes a cualquier ataque. Por lo tanto, lleva un proceso y es ahora cuando estamos empezando ese escalado, ese scale up hacia nuevos mercados y hacia nuevos clientes. Nuestra visión es una visión sobre todo de trabajo de crear un ecosistema de integradores, de canal de integradores. Nosotros nuestra interacción con el cliente final realmente no es algo que veamos, lo vemos a través del integrador y lo que queremos es escalar. Como te decía, muy orientado hacia defensa y organismos gubernamentales, pero también cualquier compañía privada, incluso pymes. ¿Vale? Son unas cosas porque realmente es un escritorio de trabajos, como decíamos, son entornos de trabajo blindados que lo que nos permiten es escalar en cualquier compañía.
¿Cuál es el rol de la inteligencia artificial en tu sector, ciberseguridad?
Bueno, hay diferentes roles, ¿vale? Hace poco, además, hablando sobre todo de la soberanía, ¿no? Un poco lo que ha pasado con esa IA que por mandato de un gobierno se ha dejado de usar, se ha parado en el uso civil. Hay IA ofensiva, IA defensiva. Nosotros, en nuestro caso, sí tenemos diferentes procedimientos que trabajan con IA. Están ahora mismo en procedimiento defensivo. Lo que hacemos es analizar, por ejemplo, cuando queremos subir un fichero o queremos interactuar, que le damos un poco más de interactuar, que puede haber algún impacto entre el end user y el servicio, lo que hacemos es analizarlo, ¿vale? Entonces, en todos esos procesos de análisis introducimos la IA. Incluso control de agentes. ¿Vale? O sea, hay agentes que trabajan con agentes que a la vez están trabajando con tu IA que la tienes on-premises o la tienes en la cloud. Pues también en ese proceso lo que hacemos es un control de agentes utilizando por supuesto una IA entrenada por nosotros y una IA que trabaja, que está controlada y es safety.
¿Qué desafíos enfrenta tu empresa?
Bueno, los desafíos que nos enfrentamos todos cuando somos pequeños, ¿no? Queremos crear ese ecosistema de partners y sobre todo la internacionalización de la empresa. Siempre estamos igual, siempre son los mismos problemas que cualquier empresa.
¿Qué crees que no se ha hecho para que productos como el tuyo no hayan surgido en Europa antes?
Bueno, la realidad es que no nos lo creemos. El problema es que en Europa siempre pensamos que es mejor lo que hay fuera, ¿no? Que si es un producto americano, un producto israelita, ¿no? Que siempre suena más el tema de ciberseguridad por esas zonas. Siempre pensamos que por venir de ahí va a ser un producto mucho mejor. Y la realidad es que no. Como podéis ver, un producto que está certificado, que hasta la OTAN lo ha metido en su catálogo, la NATO, lo que nos quiere decir es que es un producto bueno, que es confiable. Es cierto que todavía nos estamos pegando contra ese muro, ¿no? De decir, oye, pues son más grandes, ya están en el mercado y es producto que simplemente por de dónde vienen parece como que tienen un sello de calidad, cuando la calidad la tenemos internamente, no solamente a nivel europeo, ¿no? Sino incluso en España.
¿Alguna lección para los emprendedores que hayas aprendido en tu camino?
Bueno, las lecciones son muchas, hay muchísimas lecciones. Yo lo que recomiendo es dar pasos con la cabeza. Hay momentos que parece como que todo está hecho y hay que dar los pasos bien dados con la cabeza, tener procedimientos, que es muy importante desde el principio. O sea, se quiere crecer muy rápido, nos olvidamos de los procedimientos, nos olvidamos de los procesos y sobre todo cuando estás creciendo y quieres crear la base es lo más importante. Una vez que tienes una buena base, es ya un tema de o bien de financiación o es un tema de empezar a comercializar el producto.
Y bueno, penúltima pregunta, ¿cómo es trabajar con agencias de seguridad?
¿A qué te refieres con agentes de seguridad?
Con agencias como el CNI y demás, ¿cómo es trabajar?
Con agencias de
defensa, sí.
A ver, tenemos que reconocer que en nuestro caso, en el momento que hemos creado un producto que nace en España, en concreto además en nuestro caso nace en Cantabria, que no es lo típico Madrid y Barcelona, hemos tenido un buen apoyo por su parte, nos han ayudado, nos han acompañado en el proceso, porque siempre al final ellos están trabajando en un producto extranjero. Entonces en el momento que ven un producto patrio al que pueden apoyar, al que pueden ayudar, nos han ayudado en este proceso y la verdad es que no, en este caso el tema de certificaciones es algo que tenemos que reconocer que sí hemos recibido ayuda.
Ok. Y la última pregunta, ¿una conexión que quisieras tener de la red o de la audiencia?
Bueno, estamos en un proceso de crecimiento, entonces todo networking nos viene bien. Queremos crear un ecosistema de partners, como te he dicho, de integradores. Es nuestra idea, es la manera que creemos que hay que crecer y que un producto como este tiene cabida y tiene que comercializarse. Entonces, bueno, pues abierto a cualquier cooperación con cualquier tipo de empresa a nivel mundial. Es cierto que estamos en España, estamos en el GITEX ahora mismo para ver cómo podemos internacionalizar, cómo podemos crecer hacia afuera y bueno, abiertos a este tipo de deals y conversaciones, por supuesto.
Muy bien, pues eso es todo, Víctor. Muchas gracias.
Pues muchas gracias, Julio. Encantado.
The way we wrote this vibe coding. So if it's part of the vibe, it means it is ready.
You are in the 7th interview, I think, of the day. Somehow.
7 interviews.
Yeah, a lot.
So you're professional.
Well, I try to work.
Okay.
So Ardavan, Ardavan Nawaby.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for visiting our booth today.
Thank you for granting me the interview. Tell us a bit about your company, E-MetroTel.
E-MetroTel was established in 2008. We have been in business for 17 years. We operate out of US. We operate out of Canada. We are operating out of Netherlands, as well as Australia. Our business, we're in the business of providing communication services and equipment for customers who are requiring high level of security and privacy, both in the cloud as well as on the prem. Hardware on the site, and there are not that many companies anymore providing equipment for telecommunication on site, and we're one of the few that is continuing investing in this area. Typically, our customers are government agencies, hospitals, hotels, manufacturing, where they need a lot of phones. They need a lot of, they want to make sure their communication is always there, even if the internet service is not there or something like a cyber attack going on. And so that's the business that we're in. We provide the voice, video, messaging. We provide the whole solution. And
Did E-MetroTel started as this kind of communications company from the start, reliability, security, privacy, and resilience against internet failures or others? Or there was, let's say, a switch at some point in these years?
Yes, that's a very good question. We started in 2008, 9 when a group of us, we were working for a company named Nortel. That business went away. They went under. We decided, look, we're going to start a business ourselves. We're going to help the customers who are being abandoned by, the bankruptcy that had happened. And these are the Nortel. And then we started helping those customers with services, migration. And then along the way, those customers, motivated us to build our own full portfolio of products and services to offer them. And then as time has passed, there's been a number of other vendors that they have left the market, like NEC, Panasonic, and Toshiba, some other vendors that they've left their customers, and we're helping those customers to migrate, but migrate in a secure way, being able to reuse. It's very much like, if you have a mobile device and you want to go from one provider to another, you don't want to throw those devices away until those devices are broken. So that's how we started with the migration, and we call this the green migration, allowing people to reuse their devices on our platform. But then as time passes and they need a new device, such as the one that's sitting here, they can upgrade to these devices. They can do this day one, or they can do it, over time. So allows them, to manage their budgets in a much better way, more efficient way.
In an era of cloud services and others and use of the cloud, what makes your company building hardware, proprietary hardware?
It's driven by security. It's driven by privacy. Having hardware allows you to provide a full solution to the customer. If you are buying the hardware from one place, getting the cloud service from another place, and getting something from another place, that integration is very loose. There's a lot of finger pointing. With us, we like to say we're very much like Tesla, where we are vertically integrated. Everything from the hardware, the cloud services, the phones, the servers, we build it. It's a one-stop shop for the customer in terms of buying as well as getting support. So that's how we've done it. And even when it comes to the cloud services, we have our own gateways that if the cloud is not available, our hardware can take over. And this is something very unique to us that you don't see in other offerings. We do have a cloud service which we call it the hybrid, where you got the cloud running as well as a hardware on site. If the cloud is not available, the hardware will take over. Or you can just run the hardware by itself. And so that's how we handle that.
Could you tell us an example where your product was fundamental for a company to preserve their communications? And
I give you we're in Germany, right? We're in Berlin, and I am very proud to say BASF, one of the biggest, largest chemical companies in the world, they were looking for a solution to replace their Cisco communication platform because there were certain capabilities that they could not get. They are identified as critical infrastructure that they cannot run their business without. If there is any kind of a network failure, they cannot have their communication system to being down, and they are the ones for that. They are like a good example that they have purchased our solution to make sure they have business continuity if there is, a failure or a cyber attack or that kind of thing. And because, we have also utility companies in Germany that they're using our system for that purpose.
Amazing. Which challenges does your company face right now?
Our biggest challenge is sales and marketing to make sure the word gets out. And that's why I really welcome, talking to you today. It makes me proud because I know you're out of Netherlands. Our European headquarters is out of Netherlands. The challenge for us to get the word out, let people know, because when we talk to the customer, 95% of the time we get the business, they understand the value that we bring to the table. So it's really access to the market, and coming to these kind of events really helps to meet people like yourself, meet partners that can represent us in the market. And so yes, our biggest challenge is the marketing side of things.
Appreciate it. Any lesson for the viewers regarding your journey?
It's hard. It's a lot of work, but I think it is worth it, because the satisfaction that you get out of it, it's when you see something that you've started and it grows, and the people are dependent on it and they count on it. But it's not giving up. The learning, what you hear on the social media is not giving up. Keep doing it, and having a vision. You have to have a vision. Without a vision, somebody once upon a time said, if there is a ship leaving the shore, if the ship doesn't know where it's going to go into circle. You need to know where you're going, so then you can build based on that. So you really need to have a clear map of where you want to go. Of course, along the way, you're going to hit bumps, and that's part of it. But yeah, so.
Thank you. And last question: any connection that you would like to get from our network, from Victoria?
Connections. I think if you can let, especially the businesses in Netherlands, to know that there is a Dutch company that has full service when it comes to telecommunication. Yeah, I think that would be great. I really like to. I'm very proud of being, set up. It took us a long time to set it up. To tell you the truth, it was not easy to set up the company in Netherlands. We had to go through. Compared to US, it was very difficult. I'm sorry I have to say that.
No, I know.
But when we set it up, that's why it makes me feel very good. Okay, we got it up and we have the company. It's profitable. It's been growing, and it's doing business outside of Netherlands. But we want to grow our business within the Netherlands itself.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ardavan.
Thank you very much for okay.
Hello guys, second day in GITEX and first interview of the day. Here we are with
Gera.
Gera Avagyan.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Can you tell us a bit about what your company does, TAOS?
Okay, yes, I can tell you our company doing and creating some platform for specialists who work with metabolic syndrome patients. Metabolic syndrome is a vital situation, for example, diabetes type 1, diabetes type 2, and obesity. We can create the web portal and app. We can contact in real time with clients and doctors. And doctors can get additional earn through our platform. And TAOS web portal charge 30% of each customer subscription. And right now we want to expand our product in Europe and Central Asia too. And we're looking for in here the clients, the distribution person, and investment too.
Okay. How was the process of creating the product from a small idea, which I assume will be a prediction model for diabetes, and now the whole app with the home service, right, for the dietitians and doctors?
It is a very difficult work, I think, because we have a lot of pivot, and after that we understood our market. After that we understood what you should to do in this market. I mean Armenian market and after Central Asia market. It is a very different and big work together with my team, with I think with government, because the government is supporting us too, because in 5 4 or 5 months ago, where I won the grant through the Prime Minister of Tech, $25,000, and expand our product and developed our product. And it's a very big opportunity and work together. Why diabetes type 1, type 2, and why obesity? Because it is so big problem in all over the world. It is big challenges because complication through the diabetes is so very huge. And for insurance companies spend a lot of money for the complications. And our goals, it is expand our product and sell our products in American insurance companies. Why our companies is important and interested for in American insurance companies? Because we are build a biostatistic model who collect a lot of data and show you how % you have complication in the future, and it is so very important, I think.
So the model for selling your product to American insurance companies, is it the data or is it the prediction model or the app?
It is model because the data is so very sensitive data. Yes, it is personal data. We can solve this data, really. We have a local clouds in Armenia, in Uzbekistan, and in the future, our second market, it is Mexico and Brazil. Why Mexico and why Brazil? Because in Mexico right now have 38 million people who have metabolic syndrome. And I can't imagine how it is a lot, but insurance companies and government understand how it is works in Mexico, and I think it is good for us, this market. Central Asia market, why? Because it is empty market, because the Central Asia market in Uzbekistan don't have solution for this situation.
So right now, your main selling point is the app to these professionals, right? The health professionals. The main product is the app for the professionals, right?
Yes, of course. Yes,
okay.
Of course.
Which features does the app have?
The features, the first of features is risk score model. It is some of the big features. Next features, it is collect the data. We can contact with a lot of trackers, CGM trackers or daily activity trackers, watch, eye rings, and etc. Collect the data and give our customer some important information. And not our customer, only our customer, and our specialists who work with patients. So very essential and important data for specialists and for patient. I think risk score is some of the big point for us because if you have a diabetes, I'm imagine because I'm a doctor, if I have a diabetes, I really want to know what the complication in the future I can have. And I want to work with that complication, and I want to do my complication some longitudinal. So, you can provide assistance once you see the different variables changing, right? Yes.
On real
you
time.
Can see every changes between visits, instead of treatment and such.
So it aggregates the data, it engineers the data, cleans the data and interprets the data with your statistical models already validated by the whole...
Of course, yes. We're validated because right now we're work with biostatistician model, which can some important for medicine. Some important. AI model can show you some important insights and can say, yes, maybe you can have this, maybe you can change this, and etc. But we're correctly say what's happened with you. What's happened.
Okay. And CEO, what are your tasks in the company?
My task in the company is huge, I think. It is hiring, it is work with team, it is work with investment, work with my CEO, and build for me it's the best team all over the world who can work together and understand together in one words. And I want to do some fast. Our company is work some fast. Because for us it is generate fast revenue, work fast, doing fast, and talking fast, learn fast. It is so very important. And we are create this. learning fast, doing fast, hiring fast, because you don't have a time.
Okay.
You don't have I don't know, we have a lot of tasks, really, but we don't have a time.
Okay. And I guess that's one of your challenges, right?
Of course.
Which is the main challenge, would you say, in your role?
Challenge for me, I think it is staying in medicine and go to IT sector and work in IT sector, because I'm a pediatrician and I work in hospitals and I work with people, and I saw some important skills or a lot of dangerous situation, and I want to work with people, I want to help people, but I understood one important thing, maybe I can build someone interesting, someone else which I cannot do maybe, but I think we can do it together.
Yeah, transitioning from pediatrics from the health sector towards IT sector.
Yes.
Well, but you're doing great, right? Like expanding to different companies. Congrats on that.
Thank you. It is some big challenges for me, because in 10 years of my life, I stay and say no. I don't work anything. I don't work in hospital. I want to continue my work in IT sector.
Okay. And what's one lesson that you would like to give the viewers regarding the whole company?
Doing what you want.
Doing what you want.
Well, doing what you want and doing for you.
Doing it for you. Okay.
Only for you.
Okay.
And your company, if you want.
Okay.
Doing what you want, because we have a short time in life. We have really short time. And when you think about, I should work with there, I should do this, no. Work for you and your work instead of you.
Okay. And any connection that you would like to receive from the network, from Victoria?
Mm-hmm.
Any specific profile that you would like to meet?
Yes, right now we're looking for in Europe market some distribution person who wants to work with coaches, with sport clubs, and our company give them % of revenue of each market, and they can work in market and expand our product in the market, and we can collaborate and work together. We're looking for the person who wants to work with us.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hello guys, second interview of the day. Here we are with Ibrahim from X20.
Yes.
Nice to meet you, Ibrahim.
Likewise.
And tell us a bit about what does X20 do, please.
Okay. Hex20 is a private space company. We manufacture CubeSats all the way to microsats, buses. A microsat bus is all the components that surround the satellite, as well as some of the internal components, like the heart and the brain of any satellite. For example, over here we have a model that actually demonstrates what CubeSat is happening. This is one of our flagship projects that we're working on with the UAE Space Agency to develop an impactor for their multi-asteroid mission. The multi-asteroid mission is going to be a mission to visit 7 different asteroids, and our impactor is going into the last part, which is the last asteroid that they want to explore is Justitia. That asteroid came out of the solar system, so we want to know and learn more about how the universe actually began and where all these different types of materials comes from, because it's from outside of the solar system. But we're not just doing offshoot projects. We're a deep space company. We also develop technology within the UAE, India, and the US.
What does it take to make a project to the space? Which are the regulations, the team needed, the funding needed?
Yeah. I mean, the regulations are pretty new, actually. CubeSats...
Good man.
CubeSats are very early stages in the industry. They're not like super widespread. As we're speaking, most of the regulations are happening right now. All the standards are forming right now. And this is where we come in. We come in and help to standardize all different types of CubeSats. Because CubeSats have specific sometimes dispensaries, so they could launch them within space. And this requires some kind of standardization. And we're part of that standardization by making our product lines more modular, so they could have a better fit for all the different types of dispensers.
And
the team requires a big team, to be fair, but we're still a startup. A startup in this context is almost like 50 to 60 people. Okay, it's not a 3 or 4 person operation because we need engineers to be specific in specific fields. It requires different fields to actually build a satellite, not just an electrical engineer, not just an aerospace. No, it requires way more than that.
And you told me previously off camera that you work in the US, different countries.
Yes.
You explained me that you cannot deploy your engineers from the UAE to US, so you need to build region-specific research teams for each country, right?
Exactly. It's one of the hard regulations that we face right now. If we want to have projects within the US, there specifically have to be a US team, a US lab. Everything is set up in the US. It's almost the same that goes with India. They don't have the 100% restrictions, but they have like almost as much as possible, which is 70 to 30%. This is like the range that they give you. But within the UAE, it's more over opening a welcoming space for anyone all around the world to come here and start their companies and businesses and develop technologies within the UAE. I feel like the US and India are playing more of a protectionist role. They want to keep the IP within the country themselves, so they could use it as a sovereign tool, more like it.
Okay. And all these space projects and missions, they are usually international collaborations between a lot of countries, right?
Yes. But usually, yes. But we're a small company. We don't have that kind of limitations. Our projects are a bit smaller. They're more focused on institutions, educational institutions. Sometimes we do have some scientific application just like this. We rarely have any defense kind of applications, but yes, this is how, we're still growing, and the whole cube space industry is growing at the moment.
Which challenges does Hex 20 have right now?
One of the main challenges is scaling up. Scaling up is a huge challenge, especially when you want to scale up into different countries. Now you're facing a lot of regulations, as well as some kind of restrictions on communication restrictions, because you have to communicate with the satellite themselves, and a lot of the bandwidth are already allocated to certain companies and certain and you have to buy in a spot, and this is where we actually usually face most of our challenges.
And which is one lesson that you could tell the viewers regarding your journey building a space company?
I never stop building. This is where you will fail. You will fail all the time. We're currently failing in our designs, but this is part of the process. And you have to just refine it until you become successful.
I see. And which is one connection you would like to get from Victoria, from the network?
Other technology companies, mainly maybe radar specific or telecommunication companies that make any type of modules, a ground station modules or even small space modules. We're more than happy to actually connect with them.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Ibrahim, for the interview.
Thank you.
Hello guys, second day for the interview. Here we are with Nassima from the European Innovation Council. Nice to meet you, Nassima.
Hello, nice to meet you.
So, tell us a bit about which is your role in the council and what does the council do?
Okay, so I'm Nassima Ferahtia, working in the European Innovation Council. I am more focused on the business acceleration services in the EIC. What is the EIC? The EIC is an initiative from the European Commission. It's an initiative that is under Horizon Europe, so the program of research and innovation. We have 10 billion fund, and we are investing to find, to develop, and scale innovation in Europe and abroad. We are financing innovator at early stage with grants, so we can go up to 4 million to finance those researchers. And on top of this, what is totally new in Europe is we have private funds, and so we invest directly in the company, and we invest with equity. We go up to 15 million, and now with the new step approach, we can go up to 30 million to help us scale the startup and SMEs in Europe, but also in associated countries. So it means that some countries that are non-EU are associated to the program. And so the companies from those countries can have access to this funding. So it means that, for example, we have Tunisia. Tunisia is associated to the program. And so Tunisian company can have access, can get the fund exactly in the same vein way than a French or German companies. What we have, so we launched this fund recently. It's relatively new. We started with the pilot phase in 2020. The fully fledged EIC started in 2021. It's extremely successful. We have already funded more than 800 companies, startup and SMEs. And because we have this fund and we are investing in equity, with equity directly in the companies, never alone. So we always we are investing with the private investors. We have now really good figures, because for each euro we invested, we had 3.5 as a leverage effect. So which is really make the EIC extremely successful. The also novelty of this type of fund is that we are sector agnostic. So all the innovators from different sectors can apply to get funding, get the funds. We, as I said, we really go from early stage to startup and scale up later stage with different type of funds.
Are there any specific types of startups that look for EIC funds?
They have to be. It's a deep tech breakthrough technology. So you can come from the clean tech area, AI, health. They can apply. And also we have open calls. So we don't have a specific date. So the calls are always open.
It needs to be really breakthrough technology, research based.
Exactly. So breakthrough technology. This is the main goal, and we have open call. So always a company, you have the solution, you want to get the fund, you can apply always. And we have some cutting dates during the year where we evaluate the proposal. Also, the novelty is that we are asking for a really short proposal. So you don't need to send 30,000 of pages. This is absolutely not the goal. So a short proposal and you get a go or no go. If you have a go, then you send us a video of 3 minutes, a pitch, and you can then after go to the next step and you get the fund extremely fast. So we are aligned with the private sector to ensure that the innovators, they are not just dying, waiting for the money, and so we are giving them really extremely fast those funds. On top of this, so we have the funds, the different type of funding, the grants, the equity with the private investor, without open call. We have also sometimes specific challenges. So in 2026, we have 5 or 6 specific challenges. So this is specific call in different sectors that are really essential for Europe. So it's more policy related. We are, for example, we are adding now a novelty for 2020, end of 2026, the dual use. So it's again another challenge we are implementing. So those are the different type of funding. And on top of this, we have for the companies, the companies that are in the EIC portfolio, we have what we call the business acceleration services. And so those business acceleration services exist to help the companies, also innovator, depending on the stage, their needs. We are investing in different services such as coaching, mentoring. We have also the international trade fairs. So this is a specific dedicated program that is under the business acceleration services. And this is why, for example, we are in GITEX Berlin. We have a dedicated special partnership with Dubai World Trade Center, so the organizer of GITEX. And thanks to this partnership, under the EIC International Trade Fairs program, we are going in different trade fairs. Today in Berlin and GITEX, we launch a call. The companies from the EIC companies apply, depending on the need, what they want to get
in this aspect, we interviewed previously SemiQon.
So she applied.
How was the journey of SemiQon from funding to coming here to GITEX?
They got the funding, they have a program manager, an in-house expert that is following them, a project officer that is following them during their daily journey, depending on their need. And on top of this, we have the business acceleration services. We launch call, and we are publicly, so we are mentioning to them, okay guys, you can have access to this international trade fair. So we are going in Berlin, in GITEX. Apply if you believe that you have a market in Germany, you want to find investors or corporates. And so they apply. We select 15 companies, 15. And so this is 6 months before the date of the show. And during the 6 months, we are helping them, asking them, okay, what are your needs? What do you need? Do you need investor? Which are investor, corporate, clients, where? And so we organize everything for them. We contact those potential new partners. We organize meetings here in GITEX. We have this presence with the EIC, so the Pavilion. We organize different panel sessions. We are a bit everywhere in the program, in the main stage. We do a lot of communication around the companies. During the 2 days, you have my team, so the team is here, and so they are helping them they guide them for the different meetings, organizing everything for them. So it's really a full service. And after that, what is extremely important is we check the figures. It was impactful, not impactful, how much you raised, why, what was good, not good. So it's not only a communication activity, it's really a business acceleration service. Exactly. Marketing. And so I can tell you that, for example, thanks to this partnership with GITEX, Dubai World Trade Center, and our presence last year, and 1 year after, we asked the companies, okay, what did you get from this participation in GITEX? And we received figures that they raised millions of euros. So this is how we see that it's really smart money. EIC investing in business acceleration services, smart money, such as services, the company that we are funding are raising money, they are signing contracts. So this is really the goal of it. So we have the international trade fairs, but also on top of this, we have what we call procurement activities, or we are working with the corporates, helping, so bringing, we do a bit the due deal, so we check, we ask them to the corporate, what is your challenge? And depending on the challenge, we find the solution in our portfolio.
Are these
and we organize everything.
The challenges of the companies that want to expand in Europe, are all of them the same? Are there any principal challenges that they have? Or does it vary depending on the company?
Depending on the company. Really, it's totally different depending on the company.
Any lesson that you would like to give to some viewers watching this regarding the EIC or regarding expansion in Europe?
Well, first of all, if you are a founder, you absolutely have to look at what is EIC behind. If you have a breakthrough technology, it's your chance to be in contact, be in this ecosystem, get the fund. But it's more than getting the fund, because when you are in the EIC, you have a huge visibility in Europe, but also outside Europe. So I would really advise them to check what is open now, if it's a specific challenge, if they are in a niche, a specific sector, to look at the challenges, because you have less competition, let's say. And for the rest, you have those open calls, so really apply to it. For the investors, I would say come and invest with the EIC, because we are de-risking your operation. So and you can get a lot of money, and we do almost all the work, so it's easy, and we are never leading the round. We are not lead investors, so it's extremely good for the investors. The corporates, if you have a challenge, they really have to look at the amazing companies and solutions that we have in our portfolio. As I said, we have 800 companies, so we can find the solution here, and so it's easy because they are backed by us, they have the full services, so it's really a lot of credibility behind those companies. And stay alert, because now the European Commission just proposed to triple the budget. So hopefully in few months we will know, and year we will know, so if we will have 3 times the budget. So as I said, for the moment we had 10 billion, and hopefully 30 billion in the coming years to find, develop, scale, help innovators in Europe.
How should the European ecosystem be like?
Be more open for innovator, be a bit disruptive, open to breakthrough technologies. I think that this is extremely important. And also for the investors to take a bit more risk in line of what we see in US. So we cannot, we have excellent researcher, we have excellent solution in Europe, and we cannot just stay like this and see all the super innovator researcher going outside Europe because they are looking for more money. Also, so the EIC is a public body. We are not here to substitute the private sector. So we are here to now with the EIC, we are de-risking their operation, but we cannot substitute the private sector. So I really encourage, and so what I see is more now, maybe with the current situation, everybody is realized that in Europe we should absolutely invest more in deep tech solutions. Okay. And it's going to happen. Amazing. And it's happening, in fact, and it will be much more.
So let's take more risk as Europe to
more risk
and establish our operations here to grow, right?
Yeah, those companies, for example, the one that we have in our portfolio, and the European Commission fund, different type of fund, they can have and they have a huge impact in our daily life. So why we don't take the risk to have positive impact by finding the solution?
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for the interview. That was
Thanks
it.
to you. Bye-bye.
Hello guys, here we are with Josefiina from SemiQon. Nice to meet you, Josefiina.
Nice to meet you.
Tell us a bit about what SemiQon does.
Yeah, so SemiQon is a quantum hardware startup from Finland. We build cryo-CMOS chips that are basically chips that can operate extremely well in the extremely low temperatures that quantum computers need. Our technology responds to the major bottleneck quantum computing industry is facing, so the complex room temperature electronics. Today's quantum computers are relying on complex room temperature electronics that travel all the way from the room temperature to the heart of the quantum computer to control the qubits. But with our technology, we can replace the need of the complex room temperature electronics, cut infrastructure cost and power consumption dramatically, and have the control and readout close to the qubits in the extreme low temperatures of inside quantum computer.
What does it take to create such a niche and a specific technology?
Well, it definitely takes years of research. We are a spin-out from VTT, which is the National Research Center of Finland, and our founders are previous researchers from VTT. So after years of research, the company was founded 3 years ago, and now we have moved to the commercial phase with our first commercial customer orders shipped.
And which is your main customer for this?
Our customers are quantum computer manufacturers and system integrators. Also, there are potential applications in the space industry and in high-performance computing, as these are industries that also need power-efficient cryogenic chips.
And how do you envision the future of quantum?
Well, for sure, really exciting, of course. Right now, we as mentioned, we already have customers because the quantum systems that are being built today already need scalable control electronics. But now I believe the estimates are that we'll reach the million qubit era in 2030. So then, most probably the boom within the quantum industry will happen then after some years.
Amazing. Which are some of the challenges that SemiQon has?
Well, of course, from the marketing side where I myself work with, I can say that we are still a small company, so of course we want to increase our awareness. Another common challenge within this industry is talent. Quantum and semiconductors require quite niche expertise, so finding the correct talent is of course always a challenge.
And regarding your role, which is one lesson that you have learned in your journey in this company as marketing?
Well, I have learned that you need to have the courage and be really brave with working with such deep technology. I've also learned that, the importance of explaining something complex in a way that it's easy to understand it's of course always a challenge, but really important. And then, I would say that working with marketing in deep tech is super fascinating and interesting, and you learn something new every day because you work with such a talented teams.
And which is one connection that the company will benefit from the network of Victoria?
Yeah, well, I think we're now looking for connecting with customers and partners. So to increase our awareness and connect with new potential partners is really valuable for us.
Amazing. Thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you so much.
We have some of the best bullshit detectors in the world on this continent. Right? I always say that German quantum professors have 100 ways to express disbelief. In my perspective, Europe cannot lose quantum. In the it's not just another industry. It's not just automotive. It's not just solar panels. This is whoever wins quantum wins everything. Not just to mention the Shor algorithm and the risk to our cybersecurity. We're talking about better materials, better drugs, optimizing things that are currently non-optimizable. We cannot afford to lose quantum, right? We do not want to be at the mercy of anyone else asking them for permission to use their quantum computers. And therefore, I believe there needs to be a much more centralized effort. I would even imagine kind of a Manhattan project to build the quantum computer with what Catherine said, like, this is the way to go, this is who needs to build that, because they're the best at the silicon photonics side of things, and these are the best in putting together the qubits and the control systems and the error correction. I do believe that Europe could definitely benefit from such efforts.
Morocco has a lot of outsourcing solutions, digital and outsourcing in general. And Armenia, on the other hand, has a lot of software solutions, applications, etc. Robot just fall. This girl, she touched a button and suddenly the robot just fall. But they were doing great. I mean, they are doing great in general. But apparently she touched the wrong button. Korea, as you can see, they have blockchain companies. The fourth interview of the second day, something like that. Here we are with Carl. Nice to meet you, Carl.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
So, Carl, tell us a bit about what do you do. I see it's a pretty obvious, you do robots, but which kind of robots?
Okay, we're building robots for specific applications, specifically for inspection and security. So they'll be using these kind of autonomous platforms that people simply can offload work to the robot, and for example, for inspection tours or for security in dangerous areas, for police, or for investigations, or for security guards at night in ports, in warehouses, wherever. So the idea is the robot is simply completely autonomous. He can make his tour. He can understanding the situation. He has a built-in AI. He can simply trigger alarms, understanding our situations and react on them and inform, for example, a central system.
What does it take to build a robot? Research time, budget?
Yeah, it's a lot of research time, it's a lot of details, it's how to put everything together, it's a lot of testing, it's improvement in software, so it's a lot of things we until to have this system like it is today, we developed actually with several teams for about 4 years.
Has a breakthrough change happened in robotics technology recently?
Yeah, the robotic technology became much more mature, much more reliable, much more intelligent, with new sensors, with new electronics, with simply new CPUs, with the latest NVIDIA chips. We have a lot of more intelligence in the system.
And how does AI affect in robot development?
Absolutely, because AI is then the central brain. In the past, robotic was more about making simple tasks. Now, robotic with AI combined as a kind of embodied AI can do simply react on changing conditions by itself. It doesn't wait for an operator.
Can we compete as Europe to the giants Boston Dynamics and other research robotics?
I think we have to focus on very vertical niches, understanding our knowledge, okay? Specifically about industries and applications, and also stick to these verticals.
Why did you decide to start this? What's the origin of?
The origin was we understood that we have a problem with people, because you never have enough people. We have simply an aging society. So robotic plays an extremely important role. So that's why I want to be part of it.
And which are the challenges of the company?
The challenge of the company is always how to grow faster, how to scale faster, and how to keep the advantage and the edge.
Can you manufacture robots as if it was clothing, like in a factory setting, and assemble everything all together without human intervention?
You need actually a lot of suppliers, because robotic is different from building t-shirts, okay? It's a much more complex process. It's more like building cars, okay? So you have different suppliers from different regions, from different backgrounds, and you have to put everything together.
And which is one lesson that you have learned in this journey of becoming an entrepreneur?
Never give up.
Never give up. Okay. And last question, any connection that you would like to get from Nectora, from the network?
We hope that we can trigger interest, that people want to work with us, sharing their ideas, how we can improve robotic.
Perfect.
Right?
Nice to meet you. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you.